And we are live.
Hello, welcome to the Fantasmagorium Show. It's Kat, joined by Steve, here to continue our conversations about Alien Earth, covering the middle of the series, episodes 4, 5, and 6. Been a few weeks since we've all been here, so nice to
It
be
has
back.
been.
Steve, what were your thoughts on the episodes, I guess we'll go one by one, or
Yeah, however we want to do it's fine. I really liked these three episodes. I wasn't, I'm always kind of leery about flashback episodes in these series because a lot of times it's just, they don't do it right. And, it feels like it's, a device just to kind of explain away shit. This does that. I mean, it explains a lot, but we talked about this, I think on our last episode that we thought, at least I thought there was going to be at least one flashback episode kind of fill in the blanks there. And I really liked that episode. I thought episode 4 might have been the strongest episode of the season so far. 3 and 4 I liked a lot. I love the flashback episode. Thought that was great. I mean, you get right into it, right into the action. This last episode, while slower, was very interesting. I like the fact that we actually have a sci-fi show that leans into really existential sci-fi thought, and makes you think about good sci-fi makes you think about things. But I didn't think it was that strong of an episode. This last one, it was one of the weaker ones for me. I heard Rob talking about, I think on John Campia's show, Rob was saying, talking about, kind of the way that they set it up to where Kirsch is telling the kid, Shmi, is that it? Shmi? Yeah. Or Smee or whatever, however you pronounce it. He just gets done telling the kid, do everything by the book, don't do anything wrong. And then all of a sudden, when the next frame is the kid feeding the monsters.
oh, Toodle, that was Toodles.
Toodles, yeah, Toodles. And then
Well,
and in this state of the art, spare no expense laboratory where you're containing these off-world alien creatures, the kid breaks a door
Yep.
like that kind of, I mean, I get you because the plot demands it. I understand how we have to get there, but man, I think they could have done something way better than that. I mean, what happens after that's really cool. That was cool to see, but I mean that when silly shit like that happens in these shows, it really pulls me out. I'm like, oh, come on, man. Don't make me feel like this is, you know what I mean? That it's too easy. It's too easy of a. They could have written that way better, and made it actually flow in a way that doesn't take you out or make you stop in the middle of an episode and say, "Come on, this is weak." That's not right. I hate when shows do that, and they do it all the time. This is no exception. Most shows do that shit 3 or 4 times an episode. So the quality of the writing is pretty high. It's just not, that one part was really bad. So in a slower episode, yeah, I still think it's one of the weaker episodes of the series. But man, I really liked 4 and 5. I thought those were 3, 4, and 5. I think are my favorites so far.
Yeah, I thought 4 was really slow, and it's like, okay, we're still kicking around. I can see where we're going, but can we kind of get there? I thought it was interesting where Nibs has that delusion where she thinks she's pregnant.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, they use that as a pretext to wipe her memory and reboot her, which you think about, how corrupt Boy Cavalier is, and you wonder why you didn't just do that already. Because, right. I mean, ideally they're using this technology because they're going to create human immortality. Well, yeah, they used kids because that was the test subjects that were easily available. But now that they know it actually works, it's like, well, you don't need to deal with the bullshit of them being kids anymore if you have the ability just to, reboot. Yeah. So they're kind of playing around with that a bit. I like that Morrow is initially trying to get Slightly's trust by getting him to share names, but then much like manipulators do when it comes to kids, he changes it to blackmail. Like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
going to kill your mom unless you give me the facehugger egg. And it's like, I like how they were continuing that mystery that Morrow's up to something and we're not sure what it is. And so in the 5th episode, we find out, oh, he's not really the bad guy after all. We see that there was a saboteur bribed by Boy Cavalier to sabotage the ship to crash in Prodigy territory because he wanted to steal all the samples that were on there. And we see how the crew, due to either incompetence or just being too traumatized by events in real time, that Morrow was able to take command of the situation and deal with it. And how he's interesting that he did not share the evidence of Boy Cavalier's involvement with this whole thing with Miss Utani. Because when she goes to the meeting that's being brokered in the city between her and Boy Cavalier, which I thought was really funny, where the mediator's like, we're going to conduct this in a professional manner. And he's saying this while Boy Cavalier's just stretched out with his bare
got his feet up on the table during the arbitration.
It's clear that it's all biased in his favor. But she obviously didn't know about Cavalier's involvement because for some reason Morrow has not volunteered that information. So that's kind of mysterious.
Which is odd, but so so that continues the kind of the Morrow has I still think he's got something going on.
He does.
Kirsch has his own thing going on. Who knows?
Yeah, I'll get to that. Yeah, that's interesting too, because Kirsch, like he says, they're away on this business trip for this mediation, and he asks Toodles, just do the simple thing, go feed the animals, and like you said, the stupid thing happens that you see in all B sci-fi horror films. Even happened to Prometheus, or literally when I watched Prometheus for the first time, it's like you're trying to do all this existential shit, and then you cut back to the 2 guys that were guarding all the eggs, and I literally said to myself in the theater, you're not really going to go for the cheap B horror movie scare in this movie that you're trying to fit. Like, yep, you are.
Totally.
So we see that Toodles gets destroyed, and then, Kirsch is watching this, and we find out that Slightly decides to pick the one doctor who actually cares about the kids, who's just been fired because he's opposed to wiping their memory, doing unethical things. Even threatened with execution if he doesn't leave that day. Yeah, he's kind of gullible, and even though it's obvious that Toodles is dead, he goes in to try and pull him out anyway, and so Slightly sets him up to be the victim of the facehugger, and Slightly, being gullible, believed Morrow when he said, oh, he won't be dead, he'll be fine, that kind of thing. But Kirsch is watching all of this unfold, and he's just, it's all good, and he's not triggering any alarms, he's not warning anybody, and the one thing that when Utani had asked Morrow, what is your advice for how we deal with this problem? Because they're not going to give us our stuff back. And he says, well, sow chaos. And so we're seeing that chaos being sown by this craziness in the lab. But even Kirsch doesn't mind it. So it's like he's got his own agenda too. And we're not really sure what it is. And Boy Cavalier just continues to be this insufferable guy that it's like, okay, I think the fact that Wendy is able to now communicate with the xenomorph and talk with it because she has on the same frequency. I'm like, I could see where this is going with her and Boy Cavalier.
Yeah.
In terms, excuse me, what his final fate in the series will probably be. But it's like the things I'm most intrigued by at this point are what's Morrow up to? Like, why isn't he sharing this information with Utani? And what is Kirsch up to?
What is Kirsch up to? Yeah.
Those are the things. Agenda. Clearly. Those are the things I'm most concerned about. I'm not. And then we saw that Wendy's brother Joe was warned by the doctor, who's since been fired and attacked by the facehugger, that yes, you need to get your sister out of here, and here's the boat code to get out.
That was cool.
I think as we move into these final 2 episodes, the action bits are going to pick up. Still unknown if this is going to end on a cliffhanger, because given the pace of the season so far, it seems like they'd have a lot to wrap up in the next 2 episodes, unless the chaos thing just leads to an all-out xenomorph massacre.
Yeah, and I mean, that might be because Morrow said, exfil, which means exfiltrate during the chaos. We'll get in, we'll get all of our stuff out of there. Yeah. While everybody, while the island's chaotic and running around trying to figure things out. 2 episodes. Maybe. I mean, we'll see. I assume there's going to be some kind of cliffhanger because I know there's going to be more seasons. I don't know how many. There's going to be at least one more, just from the popularity of the show.
I must have missed it, but I was browsing and somewhere on Reddit somebody said, did they just eliminate Prometheus from canon with one sentence? And I didn't click on it before the page changed, so I don't know what that
too, and I
sentence
didn't
was.
click on it either. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. I didn't recall hearing anything that necessarily negates either of those films.
Yeah, I might have missed it though too. I don't know.
But according to the timeline of the show, the events of the original movie take place like a year after this, 2 years?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, so it's like, this is interesting. That's a Weyland-Yutani, and it is surprising that we also learned from Morrow in the flashback episode that it was also orders from Weyland-Yutani that, the specimens are what matters. The crew's expendable. So that's like a Weyland-Yutani policy, apparently.
Right.
That but Morrow didn't seem offended by this. He was total company man. So for a second, even though he's a cyborg, I was thinking, is he going to be revealed to be actually an android who's disguised as a cyborg? Because he's like total company man. Oh, I don't care about the crew. Even before the shit hit the fan on the Maginot, he's like, oh, we have to care about the company. And I don't care if that means we all die or anything else. I'm like, man, you were really drinking that company Kool-Aid there,
Totally.
So
yeah, he's all in. But I still think there's something else going on there too.
There is. I was hoping that the flashback episode would have given us some clue as to how the Maginot even found LV-426, but they didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to get that deep into the lore in the TV show. They probably don't want to do that. And I don't know if how far, what kind of latitude he has. So, know how he has to kind of work with that. I'm sure they probably said you do whatever you want, but.
And the character that I can't stand the most, who I want to see ripped to shreds, is the assistant, the bald guy. How callous he is.
Oh yeah, and in this episode, he's such a dick.
Oh yeah, your sister's not a person anymore. She's our property, and blah blah blah. Yeah. And you can get out of here, and we'll send you the bill for the lung that you got. And oh well, you're fired, and you best get the next boat out of here, otherwise you'll be shot for being trespasser. I'm like, this guy is so ruthless.
Ruthless. So during the flashback episode, we do find out that as disgusting and horrific as the eyeball octopus is, I think it's a good guy. I mean, for lack of a better term, it seems they're setting that up as a good guy, or at least not.
Well, it did.
Fucking evil.
It did very intelligently and deliberately kill Toodles.
It did.
It arranged for him to get trapped in there and get killed.
If that's, but maybe, yeah. Did it? Was it really
because it saw that he was leaving the room, and then it deliberately bangs its head because it could see that his foot is barely wedging the door, and then it just kind of nods and it watches.
So yeah, I guess
and the final shot of the episode,
he wasn't a good guy. It seemed like a good guy. It seemed like he didn't want, at least the doctor to die. Yeah, on the Maginot.
Oh right.
It seemed like it was trying to warn somehow.
Well, now that it's trapped in a box, I think it's trying to do things that are going to be conducive to getting it out. Chaos.
But the goat is starting to steal the show from me, and it's because of the eyeball.
Octopus. Oh yeah, the sheep. Yeah.
Or sheep or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. That was neat how the episode kind of ends with it looking at the two other containers and seeing how, okay, the egg is out, check, or the facehugger's out. Now the weird creatures from the cocoon are out, check, and now I must get out. That kind of thing. But I wonder now because Wendy's talking to this weird xenomorph with the spikes on it, and she's able to listen to it and control. And the fact that she kind of pushed away from her brother when he suggested they go back, and she's like, well, maybe I don't want to go back. She enjoys this new life. Oh, hello, Daniel's Hot Topics.
One of the best lines she had in this last episode, this Tuesday's episode was, what if you're the problem? When she's talking to the doctor, what if it turns out that you are the problem? And they are. They're all corrupt fucking, corporate stooges.
Yeah, no Scotty Daniel. He's not interested in watching this series.
Yeah.
Not really interested in doing this for a while now. Hello, Phantom Organist. I've not watched any Alien Earth, so I'm here for all the spoilers. That's good. So the long and the short of it is this corporate jerk, this arrogant child prodigy, arranged for the crash of a rival company's spaceship full of alien specimens he wanted to steal. Arranged for it to crash in his own city, not caring how many people were going to die, and now the contaminations are getting out of control. and these children who were all dying of cancer, they transposed their consciousness into these androids, which is the latest project of theirs. And I did agree with the wife of the doctor, the other doctor, when she says, we're a multinational company, we could do two things at once. It's like we can launch this android project and deal with alien specimens at the same time. It's not a big deal. Right. And she's right about that, but the fact that they keep trying to commingle it, like let the kids deal with this and let that, it's like, and granted, the kids kind of put their foot forward and forced that issue when they're like, oh, we should test them. This is good training for them. But it's really not, because they're like children, and
they're still adolescent. Yeah. They're still
something
kids.
that the adults are not really grasping very well.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting series. Probably it would have been more bingeable, I would think. This is a show I would probably have binged.
If we didn't do the show? If we weren't doing the show?
No, yeah. Like, it's something that I would probably just watch all at once, because, I mean, it's not unfolding in real time, but it's not like there's a bunch of giant time jumps either. It's like very much, it's very clear cut over a couple days or whatever.
Yeah. I think, in fact, even Wendy or Marcy says in this latest episode, it's only been about a week.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's not very extended time. This is all kind of really happening day to day. I'm enjoying this series so far. I really like it. So that, I mean, for the long hiatus we had with kind of mediocre to really bad alien product,
right?
Getting Romulus and now followed up by Alien Earth. I'm really enjoying the franchise again. I think it's it's back right now as far as I'm concerned, and it looks like Fede Alvarez will be doing a follow up to Romulus. This looks like it'll get at least another season or two.
Now, he wrote the sequel, but he said he's not directing.
Yeah. I don't know who they're going to get to direct yet, but
that's surprising.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's we're at least we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
I don't think everything has to be a home run, but
no.
At least we're out of the Alien versus Predator stage.
Yeah, and then we'll see how Predator Badlands does.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. I liked Prey a lot. I really liked Killer of Killers.
That was good.
So we'll see what kind of happens with this Predator Badlands.
Yeah.
I consider this all kind of one franchise now. It's all kind of morphing. It's all kind of mushy.
It is. They keep pushing things together, and
and that's fine. That's fine with me. If they just keep making good stuff, then I'm good to go.
Yeah, I think inevitably we're going to see a crossover that'll be a lot better than the previous AVP films.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll put more goodwill there in the franchise, so it'll be acceptable more for fans. That they'll go with it.
I like the fact they're not really holding back here. It's pretty graphic, the show.
Yeah.
But it's not overly it's not overly like they don't pack it full of cuss words. It's it's a balanced, pretty decent show, and it's one of the better sci-fi shows out there right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, Foundation's probably the best sci-fi show on right now. When For All Mankind comes back, that'll be it's pretty much the reigning defending king of sci-fi shows. But there's some really good
Severance just had its second season.
What's that?
Severance.
Oh yeah, Severance.
That was a good one too. Let's see here. Oh, here Daniel's Hot Topic says the series takes place 3 years before the OG Alien, so it will probably be 3 seasons. It could be. Yeah, we'll see.
It could be.
Because that's something I haven't heard of. Because certainly when it comes to ratings, if they're good, the studio will want more. But
it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to take place that. It could be actually more, just due to the fact of how condensed the timing is for season 1. We're talking season 1's going to take place within 2 weeks, like a 14-day time period. So if you consider that, you have 3 years to play with. You could do 5 seasons easily.
Yeah, easily. And I have a feeling with the way the pacing's going that they're not going to wrap all this up in the next 2 episodes.
I don't think so. I mean, that's a lot to kind of. I mean, I guess they could. The problem is it would be a lot of dangling threads out there.
Yeah.
And I hope they don't do that. I hope they,
Yeah.
cliffhanger, and then we can get into season 2 and 3.
Yeah, because they do have a lot of characters and dangling storylines right now that if they went the cheap route, which would be, oh, the chaos is going to go extreme and then all these characters are going to get killed off so we don't get to find out what happens, then that's lazy.
Yeah, it's lazy.
But
Noah Hawley doesn't seem, as far as Legion and the Fargo stuff that I've seen, he's not lazy when it comes to
right.
shows. He hasn't been yet. So
yeah.
Legion is amazing, and I think most everybody agrees that out of the what was it, 5 seasons of Fargo?
Yeah.
That and there's at least one season that you like, if not multiple.
Oh yeah.
The
only season I really didn't like was season 4, but the other 4 seasons I really liked, and that's a series where he hasn't ruled out another one. It's just like, well, when I come up with an idea, or if we're hungry for it, and we'll wait a little while, and then we'll do it, which is good. Like, don't ruin it by trying to rush it.
I enjoyed it. I loved Legion, though. I thought what he did with Legion, I didn't think it could actually be done, and he was able to pull it off. Crazy.
Okay, so that's our Alien talk. In other movie news, I saw the new Aronofsky film, Caught Stealing, and it's very much out of his wheelhouse. It's a very mainstream film. It's not really deep at all. It's like, if you watch the trailer, it's like a feature-length version of that, a very plot-driven, chaotic thing where Austin Butler plays this San Francisco Giants baseball fan, and it takes place in the run-up to the wild card race in 1998 against the Mets, and his neighbor, Matt Smith, who's a total punk with a mohawk or whatever, says, I got to go back to London because my dad had a stroke. Can you watch my cat while I'm gone? He's like, okay. But then these punks show up and beat the shit out of him, and then chaos just kind of ensues, and things just go from bad to worse as you're following this guy around, and you find out that he has a past. He's kind of a fuck up, and it's interesting, and you're watching it. It's like a fun, zany kind of crime comedy, but it's not visceral. It's not dark. It's not swinging for the fences. It's nothing that you would ever associate Darren Aronofsky with.
Yeah, it's weird.
And it's fun. It's a fun little movie, but it's like, I think the thing that's weird to say that's most interesting about it is that it is a Darren Aronofsky movie.
Right.
And I found that it's based on a book, and the author of the book wrote the script for the movie. So that was
interesting.
That was kind of interesting.
It's nice when they do that, when they allow that. I mean, it happens, obviously, but it doesn't happen as often as it probably should.
Right. And it does very much feel like a 90s movie set in 1998, so they did a good job at that. And so, yeah, I liked it. I gave it 3.5 out of 5 stars. It was a good movie.
Austin Butler's a good actor.
So. Oh, yeah, he continues to be a certifiable star, especially playing a total... I mean, this has to be his most washed up, down in the dumps, been through the ringer character that he's played yet. And yet he's still awesome. And
I wish Aronofsky would get back to telling, like, deep philosophical stories like he started his career. It's hard to keep that. Once you've knocked a couple of those out of the park, it's hard to keep coming up with those kind of ideas. But maybe those kind of ideas are out there in literature. Maybe you should tackle that, instead of trying to write it.
Yeah,
just find something that in that vein, and I'd love to see him, because the last couple, obviously Mother was whatever, and
I like that one, but that was good.
Mother. Yeah, it was a very, very artisan type movie. And then this sounds like fun. I'll probably I'll pick this out when it comes on streaming. Yeah,
when it comes on streaming, that's it. Yeah, it's definitely a watch on a stream. I wouldn't pay top dollar for it or anything, but it was fun. Other movie news: Paul Thomas Anderson just premiered his new film, One Battle After Another, and Spielberg loved it. Other directors there, Rian Johnson, Christopher Nolan, Benny Safdie, they all really liked it. All the VistaVision screenings, I understand, have already been sold out, and then it's going to be in 70mm and IMAX and regular theaters everywhere else.
So what I've heard is that your mileage may vary on this movie. If it's P.T. Anderson in his wheelhouse, right? So if you're a fan already, you're there, you're in. If if Paul Thomas Anderson movies are just standard fare for you and it's
Mhm.
nothing special, then it might be flat. But I did hear the movie's really really good.
I also
Some
heard
people are
that
calling it like the best movie in the last 20 years or something like that. I doubt that's the case, but we'll see.
it has more action in the first hour than all of his other films combined, and I'd believe it because his movies don't really have that much action in it.
Right. So yeah, I believe that too.
Another thing some of the top directors like Spielberg and Nolan have been praising is that apparently there's a car chase in it that they're like is as good as The French Connection, like a really good car chase towards the climax or whatever. They
Yeah.
think Sean Penn is going to be a shoo-in for the Oscar, playing the Stephen Lockjaw is his character's name, as he's on the hunt for the revolutionaries with the FBI or the National Guard or AT or whoever he's with, and that DiCaprio is really fun, and Del Toro, they say, is a really good driver because PTA mentioned that he actually does his own driving in the movie, and they're like, yeah, this guy could park a car anywhere he wants to. And Benicio says, oh yeah, when I was a kid, you had to learn how to do that, otherwise Dad's gonna smack you. So he learned the hard way, which is kind of funny. But they said his character was fun. So it's a very loose adaptation of Vineland, which was Thomas Pynchon's novel from the '80s, set in Reagan America. So the plot apparently is that in the past, the Sean Penn character had gone after this revolutionary group. They went underground for like 16 years, and now he's managed to get a lead on them. Has arrested like the daughter of one of them or something to try and draw them out, and it's like a chase movie. Because the studio, I was very surprised, put forward like 115 million or something in the budget, or 140. It's like a really big amount for a Paul Thomas Anderson movie. His films don't make bank, so they must have had. This might be a Darrenovsky situation where it's like you're doing something outside your wheelhouse, more action based, more mainstream appeal. There remains to be seen, but everybody's cheering for it. So I look forward to seeing it because I'm a Paul Thomas Anderson fan. So
Me too. I am too. So I can't wait to see it. It looks really good.
yeah.
I know Christian Harloff saw a press screening and said that he liked the movie, didn't love the movie, but he liked it. He said it's really Paul Thomas Anderson in his wheelhouse.
Oh, very long too. It's like 2 hours 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, that's pretty long.
Yeah. Another news which I was really surprised by is, Ronan, Daniel Day-Lewis's son Ronan made that movie Anemone. I think I'm saying the title right.
I think so. Yeah.
That just premiered. that of course there's a lot of hullabaloo about that because Daniel Day-Lewis wrote it with him and agreed to star in it, which not an indication that he's coming out of retirement and going to do a bunch of movies. He just did it for his son. Okay.
Right.
Sean Bean's in it. The trailer looked good, but this only just premiered at Toronto, and they already got bought and have a release date of October 3rd, like a wide release. I was shocked. Yeah. I don't think I've ever seen a faster turnaround time for a wide release between a festival opening when you had no distributor, nothing, to being out like 1 month. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
That's super fast.
Yeah.
TIFF is great. It's quietly one of the best festivals in the world. So if it's going to happen, it can, you're talking, Cannes, you're talking, there's a couple in the world that can get that fast, but that turnaround is unheard of.
Yeah, because it's like they're not even launching like a big marketing campaign. They just put out, and I literally saw the trailer yesterday with Caught Stealing, so they already put it on, and that movie came out August 29th, so they must have made an arrangement, because TIFF was what, the last week of August, around the same time?
Yeah, it was like 2
so they
weeks
must have made a deal really late to just put it in there. I think it got bought by Focus Features, if I'm not mistaken. So but that's still, I'm like, wow. I mean, I'm happy because I wanted to see the movie. I didn't think I'd have a chance in hell of seeing it because a movie, granted, made by his son is probably going to go to some super indie thing, and wow, it's getting a wide release.
It got really good reviews at TIFF, but the problem is I don't like really relying on festival reviews because it's
right.
It's almost like press screenings. I don't, you come out of a press screening like, okay, whatever. There's a lot of
kind of like how every
other
festival
things
movie
going on.
Kind of like how every festival movie gets a standing ovation these days.
Right.
It literally means nothing anymore.
It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
I mean, you take it's a little piece of the pie, right? You take a little piece and and build your own kind of, idea of what you think after you see it. But the fact that it got bought by Focus, and by Focus Features no slouch, right? So the fact that it got bought by Focus and they're turned the movie around that fast is, I mean, obviously there's a little bit of a marketing push with Daniel Day-Lewis coming out of retirement, so that you can play on that, you can push on that in the marketing. So written by, right? So you can there's definitely some marketing appeal to the movie, aside from whether it's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
So
that's there.
I guess it's interesting.
Another movie news is that it was announced that James Gunn has already set a production start date for the next Superman movie to be April of 2026. And here's the shocker. It's slated to be released July 9th, 2027, which means, and you heard this right, it will be released 3 months before the next Batman movie, which we will still have been waiting on after 5.5 years.
Right. And
insane.
and he did confirm, James Gunn, on Howard Stern show that Lex, it'll be a kind of a team up, not a team up, but they're Lex and Superman will be working together against a bigger threat.
Yeah, but I'm just shocked that they can get 2 of these movies out this quickly and we still can't get the Batman Part 2s. But so hopefully it comes soon.
Right. And do we know when Brave and the Bold's coming out?
I mean, I remember the last news I heard about that was when Andy Muschietti was directing it. Yeah. And then he confirmed that the project got shelved, but he didn't say if he was replaced or not. So I don't know.
Somebody else will direct that movie, but they need to get a hand. I know Gunn wants to get, the Superman and then Supergirl and Clayface out of the way, but we got to get Batman in there, and they have a script. They obviously like it. They just need to. But I don't think Andy Muschietti is going to be the director of that movie.
Yeah. Last bit of movie news I found was that it was announced that this AI company was going to recreate Orson Welles' original intended cut of The Magnificent Ambersons, and they don't have the rights.
They're going to replace the 45 minutes that got cut out by was RKO or whoever.
Yes, RKO, and they're going to replace it. Yeah. Now I'm of 2 minds about this. One, since they obviously don't have the rights to do it, which means they can't release it, they can still make it.
Yeah.
One, they did it because they want to show the studio
it's a proof of concept.
Yeah. It's positive.
Yeah.
Secondly, I think the reason they chose this and this particular project is maybe they thought this would go down more with the public because, hey, we're going to restore, a classic as the director originally intended after it got taken away from him. Maybe they thought it would be a better PR than just some random AI, branded movie. Maybe.
But because they don't have the rights, they can't release it anywhere.
Right, unless the studio were to grant them the rights once they see it.
I doubt they'll ever do that. But what it is, it's a proof of concept, and that's what I think it has everybody kind of on notice. Like, and I think I don't think we talked about this on air, but behind the scenes we talked about right now that after what happened with VO3 getting 8 second, 10 second fully developed shots. And how accurate and good they look for the general public. Behind the scenes, these studios have access to be able to do almost full-length movies. That's how close we are to full-on, prompt-based movie generation. But we're not that close. But it's right around the corner.
Right, and the question is.
I think this what they want to do is they want to prove the concept, and then if so, then probably all bets are off. If they do it and it actually pull it off, we'll see.
Here's the thing, though: how big of a paywall will that tech be behind for average people like you or me who wanted to make a movie?
Oh yeah, we're so far away from that because it's the computing power alone. To generate a full-length movie is beyond what we could do, what the average public can pay for right now.
Yeah,
it would only be the studios, the Larry Ellisons of the world. You know what I mean? That could fund that kind of thing right now. Eventually, though,
well, that's what I mean. Like eventually, when it gets to that point, it seems like the people inventing this stuff would have an incentive to try and keep it behind a paywall anyway. So
Yeah,
they can
I would
control it and it can
assume
be
so.
read.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like it, like how easy it was back in the 80s and up until the 2000s, where you could program your own little video games. Like I remember
Yeah,
doing that in programming class in high school. We programmed our own games that were much like those arcade games from the 80s. And it's like,
right.
wow, this is free software and it's really easy to do. But given the taste of the modern gamer, nobody
Look,
really does that.
it took about 10 years or so, maybe a little longer, but about 10 years to get when CGI became all the when CGI
Yeah,
was actually used in movies. It took about 10 years before you could actually do anything at home, a home kind of version of that. Buy the software, even
yeah,
if you have an Avid computer at the time. If you had an Avid, I mean, you could get the software. It was still a pain in the ass,
yeah,
the green screen. You could do CGI, but it took some doing. So I would say it's the same kind of time frame.
yeah.
10 years before there's like real prompt where you can put
Right.
in a
But
prompt.
I meant like in the 2000s you could use free software to program those type of arcade games you played in the 80s.
Yeah,
But that's not something that took off with a lot of people because by then their tastes have changed and nobody's gonna be
sure.
scrambling for that. But we can't really, you and I, sit back and use a simple free software to program something as complex as say Call of Duty. We can't
No, yeah.
really do that yet.
No,
Um,
well, you can. But, I mean, you have to have some serious skills. But like with Unreal Engine right now, if you download Unreal Engine 5, you can get really close
mm.
uh, to the video game. I mean, look,
Now, how much computational power do you need to be able to run
to,
something like
to
Unreal
render
5 to do
render
that?
times are pretty decent. If you just got to do them in small chunks, but so it can be done. I mean, you have to have powerful computers, and render times are days, right? Instead of they're not hours. It takes a lot of like old VFX. Old VFX used to take forever, and
Yeah,
you'd have a room full of servers just to try to get one little effect shot done and rendered in a couple of hours. And now
yeah,
it's to minutes.
yeah. That's going to be, I think, where AI is going to hit hardest is CGI effects. Like that's where I think the most logical place to apply it first, because you're already seeing major downturns in certain enrollment in colleges because it's like, well, if AI is going to attack the white collar sector, you're seeing massive upshot percentage wise of people enrolling in trade schools
Yeah,
because they could get union jobs or whatever and get more money than getting, say, a job in IT or something like that, which is not
sure.
going to have any job security or computer programming or software engineering. And by extension, visual effects artists might not be a field that's going to grow. It's not just that it's going to wipe out. A lot of people might not be even interested in trying to step into that field professionally, given that there's not going to be any stability anymore, given what we've seen AI is already doing in that field.
Yeah, so yeah, so it becomes, and this is happening in coding right now too. They call it vibe coding. So it's not but what we're seeing is that it's not replacing coders, but it's transforming what a coder does, right? The actual function. Instead of writing code, it uh, you now become a prompt expert to be able to input so you can get the right output, and you're doing that, and then you have to line by line go through the output to QA and QC it, because AI still lies and it hallucinates and
Yeah,
gets things wrong. So I think in the same way, when AI comes into this space, into movie production space and TV production, um, it won't necessarily replace jobs, but those jobs are going to they'll transform into something a little different, right?
yeah,
How to manage the AI to get the output that you want. I don't know that a lot of kids going into school want to just go in to become an AI prompter.
yeah,
So that makes sense, right?
yeah.
What you were saying.
Uh, I can't think of any other big movie news lately. Oh, Darth Vader's lightsaber from Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi sold at auction for $3,654,000.
God bless. That's a lot of money
Yeah,
for a
and
prop.
and it doesn't say like, well, how many of those did they use in the movie?
Right.
You know?
Right.
Uh,
Who knows?
yeah, but God, that's crazy. I couldn't believe it belongs
Yeah.
in a museum.
$3 million. Ooh, 3+. That's a
Yeah.
lot of money. All right. Well, I guess we
Well,
can end it here.
yeah, that's about it.
That takes care of the movie news. It takes care of episodes 4, 5, and 6. Next week is episode 7. We have 2 more episodes. These are 8-episode seasons. So we'll hop back on here next Thursday and give our thoughts about that episode. And from the trailer, the upcoming, the coming up next teaser, it looks like a really good episode. So we'll see. We'll see what
Oh, I
happens.
forgot to watch that part. Okay, we'll
If
see.
we're going to get a little more deeper into Kirsch, but we'll see. That was the tease. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you for coming, Daniel's Hot Topics and Phantom Organist.
Yep.
This has been fun. So we'll see you next week.
We will see you next week. For Kat, I'm Steve. Goodbye, everybody.